Let's hope we don't go over 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
All right, so who knows what we're supposed to be doing?
Um.
So go ahead, whoever was starting there.
Oh, I think it was just we're gonna review any questions that we had, right, about the lesson. I think
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
So we have the homework. If you guys have done the homework, there's like section 1, which is what we were supposed to do individually and then review that. And then I think together we were supposed to answer section 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Let me see if I can pull that up here real quick. And then we were to open up the quiz and do the quiz together.
I think the quiz is something we're supposed to do on our own.
Well, let me just read what she's got here.
Well, I'm right there, and it says after your group clarified their understanding of part 2, click start below to take the group meeting quiz. While you're required to work together on this quiz, each member of the group must submit his or her own. Oh, I see. So we work together.
Right, but then you have to do the submit yourself. So we'll all open it up and then work through it together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I feel bad though because I haven't done any of the prep.
That's okay. We'll work on it together. How about you, Zach? I have an incoming video call still. Hold on.
Should I go ahead and open it up, or?
Yeah.
What's it about?
The video call, or the homework?
The homework.
Okay, I've got it. Yeah, go ahead and open it up. I'm just trying to get where I had it saved. Sorry, I should have had this ready for you guys.
It's under individual preparation, right?
Yes.
So read this. The following links complement the reading. So it's just the reading, right?
Yeah, so you do the reading, and then there's the homework assignment 2. So it's O2 homework assignment.
Is it just a bunch of videos?
No, there's the wiki, which is kind of the textbook, and then so you read through that, and then you do the homework assignment. Zach, do you have the homework assignment open?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so let's see if we can get Jared in the right spot here for us.
Well, I see there's a homework tab.
So yeah, so if you click on the homework tab, down at the bottom there's an attachment that's homework assignment, or so it says O2 HW assignment. Okay, did you get that?
Yeah, so classification from variables is category quantity. Okay. So that's our homework, okay.
Yeah, so just open that up. It should be a Word document.
Yeah, I got it open.
Okay. All right, so we can just take that question by question here. So the instructions say you're encouraged to collaborate with other students on the homework, but it's important that you do your own. So we're basically, as far as I understand, we're supposed to review it together, and then everybody submits their own.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So we're going to classify each of the following variables as categorical or quantitative. So for A, I had so a number of new automobiles sold at a dealership on a given day. That's a quantitative value.
Right.
Okay. So Jared, what a quantitative value is basically it's something that
represented by a number.
Yeah, it's a number. Yeah, something you can multiply, divide, manipulate in some way. So it's a number.
Yeah, the gender would be categorical.
Right. And then C would be quantitative. What do you guys have for D?
Yeah, or D, handedness. So categorical.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the species of trees I had as categorical.
Mm-hmm.
What about F?
Weight and carats. So the weight, the number, quantitative.
Yep,
That's right.
that's what I had too. And G, the brand name for a pair of running shoes is a categorical item.
Yeah.
Okay. So question 2 is explain the difference between an observational study and a designed experiment.
So, an observational study, well, this is based off of my experience from my last class, is, correct me if I'm wrong, but observational is when you just study studies that have already been done, whereas designed experiment is something that you're doing that's new on your own.
Right. Yeah, that's basically the way I understand it. Basically, a observational study is stuff that you're observing that already exists, and a design experiment is something that you set up to sort of manipulate the data, or not manipulate the data, but see what happens.
Right.
What do you think, Zach? Does that sound right?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. The types of sampling procedures. So the simple random sample, that's just a sample that's selected at random.
Mm-hmm.
You choose. You don't do the whole group. You choose a certain number of people, and you do it totally randomly. Did you, Zach? Did you have a stratified sample?
Let's see. Stratified. I did not.
Okay. So
I have systematic though, but not stratified.
No worries. So what I understood a stratified sample to be is you take a certain category. So the example they used in the text was you divide people according to strata, homogeneous groups, like say you were going to do freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors.
Gotcha.
So then you would choose a random sample from within each one of those levels. So you could do,
Okay.
I guess you could do ages, or class or something like that.
Okay.
So that's a stratified.
Dividing groups into categories and then selecting at random within those groups.
Yep. Then there's the systematic random sample. Did you guys have an example of that one, or have a definition for that?
Yeah, like having a system of how you, it's in the name, I guess. Like maybe picking like a number, like you're gonna do like the 10th, every 10th car you're gonna test for something. So like that, having a system already set out of what you're gonna sample.
Yeah, exactly. So the example they used was like coming into a stadium, you pick every 6th or 10th or 12th person to survey or choose.
Right.
And one element of that was it starts with a random number to begin with. So you have a random number generator that says, okay, the 27th person, that's where you're going to start with, or whatever you choose.
Right.
And then how about a cluster sample?
That one's kind of confusing to me a little bit.
Yeah, the cluster sample and the stratified are similar, but apparently they're different enough that they're different categories.
Right.
And I was a little confused on that too. It seemed like maybe one of the keys was a heterogeneous cluster, which means that there's sort of we hope that they're similar, but they may have some differences there.
Okay.
And the example they used was like different dorms on campus. So you'd pull random samples from each of the different dorms.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So it's like pulling random samples from just random groups that are already existing.
Yeah, so sort of logical groups, like maybe geographic groups, or maybe a certain restaurant type or something like that. That would be sort of loosely conglomerated, and then you'd pull the random sample from within those clusters.
Gotcha. So as opposed to like having each like a specific restaurant, like random a specific type of restaurant, maybe like a type of it, just something that might be kind of go together, but not necessarily the same thing.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at the answer key right here, and what they say is a cluster sample consists of taking all items in one or more randomly selected clusters. Oh, maybe
Okay.
all items. Or blocks, when the variation from one block to another is relatively low compared to the variation within the block. Cluster sampling is a reasonable way to get a sample.
Oh, I see. Huh. So the systematic is more like picking one, like every 10 or 12 people, whereas the cluster would be picking two, like the next two, like picking 2 or 3 people at a time every 10th person.
Well, I think it has to do with maybe the cluster, which is maybe some things that they're similar, but I don't know that for sure. I read through it in the wiki a couple times, and I was still confused why that's different from the stratified sample.
Okay.
So maybe we can, as we work on that a little bit, we'll figure it out. And then question number 4. Somebody want to read that?
The state healthcare regulators wanted to assess how satisfied residents of nursing homes are with the care they receive. In order to obtain a sample, the regulators used a registry that contained all of the state's nursing homes listed in alphabetical order. They randomly chose a number between 1 and 20 and got 16. They selected the 16th nursing home on the list and every 20th nursing home thereafter until they reached the end of the list. Which sampling method do they use?
It's going to be systematic.
Sounds like a system.
Yeah, that's what I had too. Okay. All right, so that's section. Wait. Section 1 of the homework.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did I miss something? Is there a section 2 attached to the bottom of that?
No, I don't see one.
Okay. Okay. So then we're going to need to do the group collaboration. Is that right?
So in group
Wait,
meeting,
I'm sorry, the group meeting. I apologize.
Yeah, so group meeting first and the homework.
Oh, the group collaboration, that's where you submit the link to the recording to this meeting.
Okay, right. Sorry, I thought there was a part 2. Where did I?
Well, it says individual preparation, group meeting, and then homework, right?
Yeah.
So the individual preparation, that's just what you read beforehand.
Right.
And then there's the homework, which we did together. And then the group meeting, I don't understand what this start button is for on a group meeting.
I think that's the quiz.
Right, but what quiz are we talking about?
So we're doing a quiz on the homework that we just went over.
Right, but the homework has a start button too, so
Oh, you're right.
we're not taking it twice, right?
Hold on. Seems like there was
the lesson 2 preparation assignment. So it's one of the ones you download when you go to the preparation assignment. One of the attachments. It's got part 1 up here, then part 2 on the bottom.
Sorry, where are you at, Zach?
So if you go to the individual preparation,
yep.
At the attachment at the bottom, you got the O2 preparation assignment. Then there's the one with the answer key.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
So on that one, that's the one with the 1 part, and it's got 1 and 2 parts on it. And so on the quiz for the group meeting for the quiz, it says make sure you understand part 2 before you start the quiz.
Oh, okay. You got it.
Huh. Okay. I just thought there was.
So I've got the preparation assignment opened.
Yeah. Okay. So like it's got the directions, so it's filled out and everything. Use the information in the reading assignment to complete these questions. State the 5 steps of the statistical process, and provide a brief description for each step.
Yeah, but part 2 of lesson 2 is just the second part of the video.
Oh, well, on this one, if you scroll down from the preparation assignment, it says part 2, and it has like more questions and stuff like that to answer. Questions 6 and 7.
Yeah, I'm trying. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find it. I swear I saw that last night, but it's not on my. Yeah, there it is. I don't know what. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
No, you're good.
How I dropped that off yesterday. When I finished the assignment, it only saved half of it. Okay, so all right, I'm back with you guys.
Okay.
So then question. Where are we at? We did question 1 through 4. Oh, and define the p-value. We didn't do that, did we?
No.
Why don't I have that? So what'd you guys come up with for a p-value?
Let's see.
I don't even know what this is talking about. So this is based off of the reading?
Yeah. So the p-value is the probability value. And it has to do with...
The probability that something will occur, is that what it is?
Yeah. Gosh. Sorry, I had this written down.
Let's see. I can go to the answer key real quick.
No, okay. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, so the p-value is the probability value. It's influenced by the sample size. The larger the sample size, generally the greater the probability of the outcome. Gotcha. So maybe we should refer back to the answer key on this.
Yeah. That sounds good. That's what kind of what it's saying. It says probability that the result will be observed that is an extreme or more extreme than the information observed.
Yeah.
Assuming the null hypothesis is true.
Yeah, so the null hypothesis is what happens if nothing changes. So
Gotcha.
we assume that the null hypothesis is what the status quo is, what's really going to happen.
Okay.
And then a deviation from the null hypothesis is the alternate hypothesis, which is, if there's a change in the treatment group or a deviation from what you're expecting, or from the deviation from the status quo, that's the alternate hypothesis.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So let's move on to part 2, I guess.
Okay.
So the correct sampling method for each scenario, I'll read letter A. A medical student researches the prevalence of aspirin usage by questioning all of the patients who enter her clinic for treatment.
Okay. So they're going to her clinic, so she doesn't have to put anything. She's not putting any effort to go find a good sample. So it's just convenient, right? So convenience sampling.
Yeah.
Okay, I can read the next one.
Okay, so as far as the sampling method, is that, she's pulling everybody. Is that what method is that?
I think it's convenience, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, actually, is that one of the ones? It should be, isn't it?
Well, convenience is the one that they recommend not doing, because you're just pulling kind of a sample out of whatever's closest.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I was thinking it's the
cluster, maybe.
I was thinking it's
the question is asking
a census, because she's pulling everybody.
Oh, gotcha. Huh.
Well, the question is asking what method they're using.
Yeah.
And it sounds like she's using convenience, just because she's not going. Yeah, like Zach said, she's not going out to find anybody. It's just they come to her.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what the answer key says, anyways.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with that one then. Okay. Yeah. So Let's see.
I can go to the next one. The Colorado.
Okay, cool.
The Colorado Department of Health obtains an alphabetical list of 2 million adult Colorado residents and constructs a pool of survey subjects by selecting every 1,000th name on the list after randomly choosing one person from the first 1,000 on the list. So it's starting randomly from randomly choosing the person from 1,000, then it's going to go every 1,000th after that. So that'd be systematic, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like me.
That
I'll read
one's easy.
the next one. In a Gallup poll of 1,059 adults, the interview subjects were selected by using a computer to randomly generate telephone numbers that were then called.
Yeah, that sounds like a simple random sample.
Yeah.
Right, so D is a dietitian. Dietitian has partitioned people into age categories of under 18, 18 to 49, 50 to 69, and over 69. She is surveying a simple random sample of 200 members from each category.
Would that be the categorical one? Or
I think that's the stratified random sample.
stratified? Okay.
Okay, so yeah, because she's doing the sample within like certain groups already like defined, right? Like you were saying with the juniors and the seniors.
Right, right.
Under 18, 18 to 49. Okay, gotcha.
Right. Okay. So E.
A Johns Hopkins University researcher surveys all cardiac patients in each of 30 randomly selected hospitals. So, okay, so the hospitals, it could be different, but it's just that kind of type. So cluster, right?
Yeah, that would be the cluster one.
Okay, gotcha.
The American Medical Association wanted to determine general patient satisfaction with the patient's primary care physician, determine the type of sampling method used in the following scenarios. A, they take a simple random sample of doctors and then sample all of the patients that the doctor works with. Sounds like a cluster, right?
Yeah, that sounds like a cluster to me.
Yeah.
The more we do these clusters, the more I kind of understand it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Me too.
So you're doing everybody within that random, group.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Okay. So B is they put all of the residents' names in a computer and use a random number generator to get a sample of 100 patients. That sounds like a simple
Yeah.
random sample.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They divide the residents up by gender and then do a simple random sample of residents within each gender. Stratified?
Yeah, that's what I would think.
They randomly pick key intersections in the city and then picking every fifth person that walks by after randomly picking one of the first 5 people to be in the sample. So that would be the systemic, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Or systematic.
Yeah. Okay, so question 8. Determine for each scenario whether it's an observational study or an experimental design. If it's an experimental design, to determine the response, treatment, and subjects. So A is the Center of Disease Control obtains current flu data by randomly pulling 300 men and 300 women. That sounds more observational. You're just pulling the data. You're not
current flu data. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the answer key says. Yeah, observational study.
Let's go with that then. Okay.
You plan to conduct an experiment to test the effectiveness of Sleepy's, a new drug that is supposed to reduce insomnia, so you randomly divide 1,000 patients into two groups, where half get sleepies and the other a placebo. You record the gender of each subject. You will then observe how many hours of sleep they get in a week. Okay, so it says experiment design, determine the response and treatment in the subject. So this probably doesn't sound the same as the first one, so it's probably not observational. So
Yeah,
maybe
that's
it's design.
yeah, that
Oh,
sounds
that's
like an
okay.
experiment. I would say
Yeah.
it's an experimental design.
So it says determine the
Treatment
response.
on subjects.
Um,
Oh, okay. I see what it's asking. So the response is, how much sleep do they get? The treatment is the drug, and the subjects is the 1,000 patients.
okay, gotcha.
Let's see if the answer keys those.
Okay, so the response is kind of like the thing they're testing for, right? Or the thing that they're
Yeah,
trying.
is that the outcome that they're hoping for, or the thing they want to measure?
Oh, so the answer key under treatment, it also lists the placebo as well.
Oh,
So
okay,
that
because they're
makes it
both.
very easy.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, so the response is what? Sorry, that you cut out for a second.
So the response is how much sleep they get.
Okay, yep.
The treatment is not only the drug, the sleep keys, but also the placebo.
Oh, okay.
Because the placebo could be just as good. I don't know.
Okay, and the subjects is the total. Is that the total group? That's the 1,000 patients.
Yep.
Okay.
In September 2004, I'm not bad. Something Pharmaceuticals Inc. Announced the result of its first human trial of NP1-32101, a topical form of its skin ointment. A total of 224 patients diagnosed with skin irritations were randomly divided into three groups as part of a double-blind, placebo-controlled study to test the effectiveness of the new topical cream. The first group received a 0.5% cream, the second group received 1% cream, and the third group received a placebo. Groups were treated twice daily for a 6-week period, and the degree of skin irritation was recorded at that time. Is this a designed experiment or an observational study?
Sounds like it does. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds experimental.
Yeah.
What are the subjects? The subjects are the 224 patients.
Yeah, I agree. What is the response variable in the experiment? Let's see first.
Like the reaction their skin has.
Is that the degree of skin irritation?
Degree of skin irritations. Okay.
What are the treatments? So there's a half and a 1%, and then the placebo.
Okay.
Awesome.
How did we do on the answer key with that one?
Yeah, we're good. Design. Yeah, the degree of skin irritation observed in the patients, and 0.5% cream, 1% cream, placebo. Yep.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, cool. So that's the preparation assignment. So then we each turn it in separately, right?
Did we even turn it in though?
I don't know if we turn it in. I think
No,
we.
I think you're right. We turn in the homework. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're gonna turn in the homework.
Okay.
Okay, so should we start the quiz?
Yeah, might as well.
All right, cool.
Which quiz? The group meeting quiz?
Yeah, the group meeting
The
one.
group meeting quiz. So we go to the group meeting tab, right?
Yeah.
And hit start, I guess.
Oh, well, I already missed the first question. But it was nice because, from all my previous classes, I knew what you guys were talking about. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
not super far
sounded like you had
behind.
a real solid. Um,
Uh, let's see.
idea.
Researchers would like to determine if reviewing material consistently within an hour after class helps students perform better on exams than if students wait to review material the day before the exam. To answer this question, the researchers are trying to determine if an observational study or an experiment would be more appropriate. They are discussing who the population would be and how they will determine which sampling method would best represent the population. Which of the 5 steps of the statistical process are the researchers currently applying?
Ah,
Sounds
okay.
like
So
I don't know what this means, but it sounds
I
like
think
design
make
study.
inferences, isn't it? No, wait, no, because that's after you get the
right.
data.
So it's. I think it's probably design the study.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
they're still trying to figure out how to do it. So
Yeah, that would be probably the first step. Okay. Let's see. A researcher has collected the results of a survey where the participants were asked how many hours of TV they watch each day. The researcher tallies the frequencies for each category and computes a mean number of hours watched. She then creates a histogram to help illustrate the overall distribution. Which of the 5 steps of the statistical process did the researchers apply?
Cool.
describe the data, maybe.
Yeah, either that or collect the data. So, well, she already collected the results.
Yeah, and now she's putting it to use.
What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, so on the answer key up here, it's talking about, let's see, describe the data, creating graphs. Yeah, so describing it, right?
Okay. Yeah, because she created the histogram to help illustrate. So describe the data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Mumbai, India, is a quickly growing city of importance in its own country as well as the global economy. A marketing research firm has been asked by a prominent fast food restaurant to help determine if the citizens of Mumbai would support this fast food business. From a list of all registered taxpayers, 3,000 names are randomly selected. Each individual on the list is mailed a brief questionnaire. The researchers received 1,049 responses. The population is... Ooh. So it's either...
Still 1,000, right?
I would guess it's the 1,049 that responded.
Hmm.
What do you
Well,
guys
there's a
think?
problem with that. Is that, well, I
Um,
suppose you might have some people that would, reject it. They would actually take the time to send the mail back and say, no, I wouldn't want it. Where, like, that's, that's a hard one to me because it seemed like, the people that didn't, respond either didn't get the letter or something happened, to stop them from sending it
Right.
back, or they just didn't want it and they threw it away.
yeah,
Right. But those people that don't respond, you can't determine what their answers are.
right.
So
I agree with
they
you, Ian,
they
on that.
probably wouldn't be included in the results.
Yeah.
That's a terrible way to do a study.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like a convenience study, but I think you're right. The population would be the 1,049 because they're the only ones included. They're not. The rest of them aren't even really participating. They don't have they don't know what their opinion is or anything, so they can't be included.
Wait a minute.
Right.
So, what's the difference between population and sample? Because the next question is the same thing, but it's asking what the sample is,
Oh boy.
and I think that's what you are referring to. Because the
Oh,
population is still 3,000, but the sample they actually got is the 1,000.
Yeah, Jared, I think you're right. So the population would be the 3,000. The sample would be the
All
1049.
right.
yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
So let's go on to number 7 then.
Okay.
All right. So let me just check those boxes. All right. Whose turn is it? Is it mine?
Oh,
Uh,
I don't know.
I'll start. Okay. Studies have shown that retention of classroom materials can drop as low as 58% within 15 minutes of class and within 44% after the first hour after class. This forgetting curve continues so that within 6 days only 25% is remembered. How can a student conquer this forgetting curve? The researcher in this study, researchers claim that constant review is important. Suppose that your teacher wanted to test this and invited you to participate in a study where you were asked to review specific material 15 minutes after class for 10 minutes, an hour after class for 10 minutes, and then again 2 days after class for 10 minutes. Your teacher then gives you a short 10-question quiz where your score out of 10 is recorded. What type of data is your teacher collecting?
Is it quantitative? You want to see? No, wait.
Yeah.
The score, right? A number.
Yeah.
Or is it categorical because it's depending who, the different categories, which.
I think categorical would be more like pass or fail, whereas
Okay.
quantitative sounds like what he's doing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think so. Sounds quantitative.
Okay.
Well, so then the next one's a similar one.
It's probably qualitative. Let's see. Studies have shown that the retention of classroom materials can drop as low as 58% within 15 minutes of class and 44% after the first hour class. Continue 6 days, 25% is remembered.
Oh, so if you look at the end of the question, it just changes. Instead of doing the score test, it says, after the 6th day, your teacher asks you if you feel confident that you retain at least 50%.
Okay, so categorical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Studies have shown that retention of classrooms, same thing.
Let's see.
Let's see. Your teacher also selects a group to give no review to the material over the 6 days. This group is called the control group, right?
Yeah, control group.
Yep, that's the easy one.
Which of the following would be considered an experimental design? Telephone poll asking people whether or not they vaccinate their children. Administering tuberculosis vaccination to one group and a placebo to the other. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
In a study to determine the average wage of working people in Mumbai, which of the following... I keep giving the Mumbai ones. Which of the following...
I think it's Mumbai, actually.
Mumbai? Okay. Determine the average wage of people. Every 10th worker that you meet as you travel in the streets of Mumbai. All the workers in one working district of Mumbai. Many randomly selected workers in each of the several working districts of Mumbai. All the female workers. I would say it's the third one, right?
That's what I would think.
Several working districts. Because, yeah, the first one, it depends where you're at in the street. It could be a poor part of the neighborhood, poor part of town.
Yeah.
And they could all be poor. So the third one?
Plus, yeah, the text usually, it sounds like they would prefer the randomly selected.
Yeah.
I think they say that that's the best way to.
Right.
Yeah, and it says several working districts, so that's another good indicator.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right answer. Okay. You want to become the next Jonas Salk. Who's that?
I have no idea.
He's the guy who invented the polio vaccine.
All right. And you want to produce a vaccine that will help cure children of respiratory.
You can just say RSV.
Virus. You test the vaccine and compare it to a placebo and randomly choose one group of children to take the vaccine and one group to take the placebo. What or who are the experimental units of or subject? Would be the children, right?
Yeah.
Or would that be the vaccine and placebo?
I was thinking that one.
So I took a note on the text that the term subjects, units, or experimental units are all used interchangeably. So they're the people that are taking part in the experiment.
Gotcha. Okay, so the children.
Okay.
It's good to know. Good note, Ian.
Oh, thanks. All right, so you want to become the next son of Jonas Salk, blah, blah, blah. You test the vaccine and compare it to the placebo and randomly choose one group
Yeah,
of
so
children.
that's what we were going for last time was the vaccine placebo.
Yeah.
Okay, so the treatments are
Yeah.
the bottom one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that solidifies number 12.
Right.
Okay, so in 1992, the U.S. government supported a study that was run for 15 years where 4,608 low-income families were given a chance to move to less impoverished areas. They distributed vouchers and provided various support systems. The researchers wanted to determine if getting people out of poor neighborhoods would reduce the poverty level of U.S. citizens. The low-income families were randomly assigned to one of the following three groups. Number one, the MTO Low Poverty Voucher, LPV group, which receives Section 8 certificates or vouchers usable only in low poverty areas, areas with less than 10% of the population below the poverty line in 1990, along with counseling and assistance in finding a private unit to lease. Second one, the traditional voucher group, received regular Section 8 certificates or vouchers geographically unrestricted in ordinary briefings and assistance from the PHAs, local public housing authorities. Three, the control group, which received no certificates or vouchers but remained eligible for public or project-based housing and other social programs to which families would otherwise have been entitled. Okay.
Wow.
Study was observational, I think, right? Because they're not actually performing the wait, no, they are giving them stuff.
Yeah, I think it's an
No,
experiment.
yeah, it's something that's never been done before, so they're definitely experimenting.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, I think that's an experiment. Neither. That's nice of them to throw that in there.
Yeah.
If a p-value of 0.0002 was found for the study described above, then we could say that there is about a 0.0002 probability of obtaining the actual observed result, or one more extreme, assuming the null is true.
Wow. Okay. I didn't really understand that.
Uh,
P-value of 0.002 was found for this.
I thought the p-value was like the variability value,
Right.
to where like there's like say you came up with a data result of like this drug has 50% accuracy, and the p-value was 2%. So 50% was actually more like, well, it's more like it has a 48 to 52% accuracy because you got 2% give or take, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So if that's the p-value, then what is this asking?
Okay, then we can say there's a 0.0002 probability of attaining the actual observed result.
I think the answer is true, right? So it's just asking basically the p-value. Does that mean that it's the probability of obtaining that, like that percentage, 0.0002, of obtaining the actual observed result, or one more extreme, assuming the null is true, right? Oh, wait. Was it? Does that mean I can't remember if it's assuming the null is true or false before to assume the p-value could be something. I don't remember that.
Yeah, they assume that null is true, but let's read question 16 and see if that helps us, because
Okay.
they're both related. Since the p-value is low in question 15, the researchers could conclude that the results are significant, and providing low-income families with an opportunity to move away from low-income neighbors does make a difference in poverty levels.
It sounds true.
Yeah.
What
I
is it?
mean,
What
like
is it?
the lower your p-value, the more accurate your study, right?
The lower the p-value, the closer it is to the null the null hypothesis. Rats. I don't know, guys.
So here, the p-value definition is the probability that a result will be observed that is as extreme or more extreme than the information observed, assuming that the null hypothesis is true. Does that help any?
Um,
Well, that sounds just like the statement in question
For
15.
yeah, I think that 15 is true and 16 is false because a point 0.0002,
I
that
agree.
percentage is so small that I mean it's not a significant.
Yeah, a deviation from what they.
Yeah, and so I think 16 is false and 15 I think that would be true. Because I think it's just saying, basically, I think 15 is just basically the definition of what the p-value is.
That's
Like
a
how you
work
define
log.
it. Hmm.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm gonna trust you guys because I didn't do the reading.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Match the following. Collect data. Oh,
Let's see.
well, you
So
gotta design the study first, right? That's
collect the data is step 2.
yeah.
Yeah. So A.
So that's isn't that B?
Oh, well, you guys might have different letters than me.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Oh wow, you're right.
Okay. So
Take
collect data step 2.
So you
Take
design the
action.
study first, you collect the data, then, oh wait, no. Wouldn't you take action after design the study?
Actually, take action is step 5.
That's the last one. I remember that.
Oh, so that's what you do about it, once you know the results.
Exactly.
Okay.
Design study is step 1.
So it's step one, design the study. Step two, collect the data,
Yep.
and then describe the data.
Yep. And then you make inferences
And
and take action.
right. Okay. So step four is inferences, and then five is take action. Okay. Are you ready to submit this?
Hold on one second. Let's make inferences is step 4, right?
Yeah, make inferences step 4.
Oh yeah, and then there's the mnemonic, which is Daniel can discern more truth.
Oh.
Oh, huh. That's funny.
Hold on, I don't know what's going on with me tonight. Make inferences is what step 4, which for me is C. B. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Submit away.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, go.
All right.
I missed number one.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh, we got 5 wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so it's the full citizens would be the population. Huh.
interesting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Is it because
I
it was
never would have guessed
hasn't been
that.
randomly selected? Is that why it's the population? 'Cause since it's a random sample of that population?
Yeah, I guess so. Of that population, so it's a random sample of. Yeah, wait, that's.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense. I should have.
Yeah. Oh, and then 16 was true.
Ah, darn it.
Okay, I'll hold it against you.
All right,
Cool.
well, we'll do better next week.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Thursday. We got to do this
Yeah.
again
What
Thursday.
time do you guys want to meet Thursday?
So, does 6:30 work for you, or do you want to do it later? I'm
Thursday, I have
I'm
clinicals
tied up till
at
about
the
6.
hospital. Until 7. Um, so, I
You
mean,
want to do?
how late are you guys willing to do that?
I can do it anytime.
Yeah, I can do it anytime after 5. I'm good.
Okay.
Um,
You want to do
I think
8?
I'll get back to the hospital around 8:30.
Okay. How about we
Is
do
that okay?
9? Just
Nine?
Okay,
is that okay? Is that too late for you guys?
No, that works for me. That's fine.
Okay.
perfect.
All right. So
And then,
go
do you
ahead.
guys want to set up a regular schedule?
Yeah, let's do that. What is your Tuesdays look like, guys?
Same for Tuesdays and Thursdays are the same for me. So after 5, I'm good.
Okay, I'm the same way. So what about you, Jared?
Um, it kind of depends. I do clinicals every Tuesday and Thursday, so
Oh, yeah.
I might actually need to do 9 o'clock every Tuesday, Thursday.
That's
That's
fine.
fine with me because that gives me a little more extra time to do the assignment.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
Sounds good. Thanks,
Right.
guys.
So 9 o'clock Tuesday and Thursday.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll send out an email to everybody so that the other Jared gets the information. And then are you okay if I just invite you guys like I did tonight?
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
All right. So then I'm going to stop the broadcast here.
Okay.
And then I'll submit that as part of our group. It looks like I'm the only one who submits that as part of the where is that? The group meeting.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Oh, that's
so
the group
this whole
collaboration
thing-
discussion board. So I'll
this
post
whole
that. You guys will all be able to see it. Sorry.
just one quick question. This homework quiz is something that we just do on our own, right?
Yeah, we do the homework by ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. But we don't actually turn in the homework assignment.
No, not like the preparation stuff. It's just another quiz for the homework.
So it's just kind of like a worksheet that helps you prepare for the quiz.
Yeah, that's the way I understand it.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, well, it's nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, you
Sorry
guys.
about
Yep.
that little problem we had earlier. Not gonna happen again.
All right, I'm stopping the broadcast here.